Greetings everyone, we're gathered here to figure out WTF was, is, or will be. Panavia Tornado. Let's dive in. The Panavia Tornado is a versatile twin-engine aircraft known for its variable sweep wings and multi-role capabilities. It was co-developed by Italy, the United Kingdom, and Germany, bringing together their expertise to create a powerful machine. The Tornado family includes three main models: the IDS, Interdictor Strike, designed for ground attacks; the ECR, Electronic Combat Reconnaissance, specialized in electronic warfare; and the ADV, Air Defense variant, built for interception missions. Manufactured by Panavia Aircraft GmbH, a collaboration between British Aerospace, MBB of West Germany, and Air Italia from Italy, the Tornado took its first flight on August 14, 1974, and officially entered service between 1979 and 1980. Thanks to its adaptable design, it replaced multiple aircraft in the air forces of its member countries. Interestingly, Saudi Arabia became the only nation outside of the three founding partners to operate the Tornado. In fact, they even participated in a tri-nation training program based at RAF Cottesmore, ensuring continuous cooperation among the involved nations. The Tornado played a significant role in the Gulf War of 1991, where it was primarily used by the Royal Air Force, Italian Air Force, and Saudi Air Force for low-altitude strikes. Over the years, it was also active in other conflicts like the Bosnian War, Kosovo War, Iraq War, and the 2011 Libyan Civil War. The Tornado's versatility extended to smaller operations in Afghanistan, Yemen, and Syria. By the end of its production, a total of 990 Tornado aircraft were built across all its versions. Development origins. In the 1960s, aircraft designers were exploring variable geometry wings to combine the agility of straight wings with the speed of swept design. At the time, the United Kingdom had cancelled plans for two aircraft, meant to fill tactical strike and reconnaissance roles. First, the BAC TSR-2 in 1965, followed by the US-made General Dynamics F-111K in 1967. Britain still needed replacements for its aging Avro Vulcan bomber and Blackburn Buccaneer strike aircraft, so the search continued. In 1965, the UK and France began work on the Anglo-French Variable Geometry (AFVG) project. France pulled out in 1967, leaving Britain to push ahead alone, looking for new partners. Meanwhile, West Germany had been working on similar designs since 1964, collaborating with Boeing and later Fairchild-Hiller to explore options like the EWR Fairchild-Hiller A400 AVS Advanced Vertical Strike, which bore similarities to the Tornado's future design. In 1968, West Germany teamed up with the Netherlands, Belgium, Italy, and Canada to find a replacement for the Lockheed F-104G Starfighter. Initially named the Multi-Role Aircraft, MRA, the project later became known as the Multi-Role Combat Aircraft, MRCA. The goal was to develop a single aircraft capable of performing multiple missions, replacing the diverse fleets then in service. Britain joined this group in 1968, represented by Air Vice Marshal Michael Giddings. By May 1969, an agreement was in place between the UK, West Germany, and Italy. By late 1968, partner nations were eyeing a potential production run of 1,500 aircraft. However, Canada and Belgium pulled out early, with Canada finding the project politically tricky. There was concern in political circles that too much of the manufacturing and focus was centered in Western Europe. France, meanwhile, had successfully offered Belgium its Mirage 5 as an alternative. Panavia Aircraft GmbH, on March 26, 1969, four countries, the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands, came together to create Panavia Aircraft GmbH, a multinational company dedicated to developing the Multi-Role Combat Aircraft, MRCA. The goal was to build an aircraft that could handle a variety of missions, including tactical strikes, reconnaissance, air defense, and maritime operations. Several ideas were explored, ranging from fixed-wing to single-engine designs, before settling on a final concept. However, in 1970, the Netherlands withdrew from the project, feeling that the aircraft was too complex for their needs. They had hoped for a more straightforward design with better agility. Another setback came in 1972 when Germany reduced its order from 600 to 324 planes. Some speculated that Germany had initially inflated its order to secure the company's headquarters and testing operations on its soil, gaining more control over the design process. When the final agreement was reached, both the UK and West Germany took on 42.5% of the work, while Italy was responsible for the remaining 15%. Political negotiations heavily influenced this division of labor. The UK's BAC, now BAE Systems, handled the front fuselage and tail. West Germany's MBB, now part of Airbus, worked on the center fuselage, and Italy's Air Italia, now Leonardo, took charge of the wings. The engines were built by a separate multinational company, Turbo Union, established in June 1970, with shares divided among Rolls-Royce 40%, MTU 40%, and Fiat 20%. By May 1970, the project had narrowed down to two designs: the single-seat Panavia 100, favored by West Germany, and the twin-seat Panavia 200, preferred by the Royal Air Force. Eventually, they moved forward with the two-seat option, which was briefly named the Panavia Panther. In September 1971, governments involved signed an intention to proceed, ITP, with the aircraft being focused on low-level strike missions aimed at countering Soviet defenses. Around this time, Britain's Chief of the Defense Staff announced that two-thirds of their frontline aircraft would consist of this new, unified type. Prototypes and testing. The first of the 15 development aircraft, which included 9 prototypes, P-01 to P-09, and 6 pre-production models, ES-11 to PS-16, took to the skies on August 14, 1974, in Manching, Germany. Paul Millet, the test pilot, remarked that the handling was so smooth, it felt like a simulation. However, further flight tests identified the need for some adjustments. The engine intakes and fuselage had to be reshaped slightly to reduce airflow disruption, which were causing surging and buffeting when the plane reached supersonic speeds. Jim Quinn, one of the engineers behind the Tornado's engine controls, explained that while the prototype could reach supercruise without issue, things got tricky at high altitudes. At lower turbine speeds, the engine's compressor couldn't hold back the pressure from combustion, which led to intense vibrations when the pressure reversed into the intake. To fix this, the engine's idle setting automatically increased at higher altitudes. But the downside was that at very high altitudes, the idle was so close to full thrust that the plane couldn't slow down. One test aircraft found itself stuck at Mach 1.2, forcing the pilot to reduce speed by maneuvering the aircraft rather than using the throttle. British Ministry of Supply stepped in, assigning Ted Talbot, chief engineer from the Cord project, to help solve the intake issue. However, tensions rose when German engineers, who had already filed a patent on the Concorde design, refused to acknowledge Talbot's team. After a failed attempt to sue the British engineers for providing the intake designs, it became clear the Tornado system was missing a crucial feature. Talbot's team had discovered that when the intake ramps were improperly positioned, the engines needed to adjust automatically. Since the Tornado lacked this ability, the more advanced Concorde-style intake couldn't be used. The tests also showed the need for a nose-wheel steering augmentation system connected to the yaw damper to control the aircraft when the thrust reverser was deployed during landings. Between 1967 and 1984, Soviet KGB agents managed to acquire details on the Tornado program, largely thanks to Manfred Rauch, head of planning at Messerschmitt Bölkow Blohm in West Germany. Meanwhile, the testing phase experienced setbacks, with 2 prototypes lost in accidents caused by pilot errors that led to ground collisions. Another prototype was damaged during a test flight after encountering pitch oscillations, which were caused by overcorrections from the pilot. During development, many aircraft manufacturers, including those working on the Tornado and the General Dynamics F-16, began integrating new technologies like stability augmentation systems and autopilot. The Tornado's Triplex Analog Command and Stability Augmentation System, CSAS, underwent failure testing using realistic flight control rig. However, the Tornado's variable sweep wings, paired with heavy and varied payloads, made the clearance process much more complicated. Production. The first batch of Tornado aircraft was secured through a contract signed on July 29, 1976. The inaugural production model, ZA319, took its first flight on July 10, 1979, at BA Wharton. Shortly after, on June 5 and 6, 1979, First Tornado deliveries were made to both the RAF and the German Air Force. Italy received its first Tornado a couple of years later, on September 25, 1981. Around the same time, the Tri-National Tornado Training Establishment, TTTE, was launched on January 29, 1981 at RAF Cottesmore, with the purpose of training pilots from all participating nations. This training center remained operational until March 31, 1999. By December 19, 1987, the 500th Tornado had been delivered to West Germany, marking a significant milestone. Though Germany initially resisted exporting the Tornado, once they lifted their objections, Saudi Arabia became the only external customer. This purchase was a component of the Al Yamama Arms Agreement between British Aerospace and the Saudi government. Other countries like Oman had shown interest in the Tornado, committing to an order of 8 Tornado F-2s in 1985. However, Oman canceled this order in 1990 due to financial struggle. In the 1970s, Australia had considered joining the MRCA program to replace its aging fleet of Dassault Mirage 3 fighters, but ultimately chose the McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet instead. Canada followed a similar path, opting for the FA-18 over the Tornado. In the 1980s, Japan weighed its options between the Tornado, F-16 and FA-18, eventually selecting the Mitsubishi F-2. In the 1990s, Taiwan and South Korea also expressed interest in acquiring a few Tornado ECR variants. Australia was later offered a version of the Tornado ECR with enhanced electronic warfare capabilities in 2001 by EADS. Production of the Tornado officially ended in 1998. The final aircraft delivered to Saudi Arabia, who ordered a total of 96 IDS Tornadoes. By June 2011, the Tornado fleet had collectively logged over 1 million flight hours. According to aviation author John Lake, Panavia Tornado program was highly successful, producing just under 1,000 aircraft, making it one of the most successful bomber programs of the post-war era. Air Forces Monthly highlighted the Tornado's importance, noting that for more than 25 years, it remained one of the most significant military aircraft in Western Europe. Design overview. The Panavia Tornado is a versatile, twin-engine aircraft built to handle a wide range of missions. One of its key strengths is its ability to perform low-level penetration missions, crucial need during the Cold War when the goal was to deliver conventional and nuclear weapons on advancing Warsaw Pact forces in Eastern Europe. Its design features, such as variable wing geometry, were meant to minimize drag during high-speed, low-level flights into enemy territory. To make the pilot's job easier, the Tornado was equipped with advanced navigation systems and one of the earliest fly-by-wire systems, allowing for better control during these challenging missions. For long-distance operations, it also includes a retractable refueling probe to extend its range. As a multi-role aircraft, the Tornado was designed to handle more than just strike missions. It became a replacement for a variety of specialized aircraft, covering tasks like battlefield reconnaissance, maritime patrols, and electronic warfare. In some cases, variants of the Tornado, like the Tornado ECR, were created to handle these specific missions. One of the more significant modifications was the Tornado ADV, which had an extended fuselage and carried long-range anti-aircraft missiles, serving as an interceptor. To keep up with modern requirements, Tornado operators have implemented multiple life extension and upgrade programs. These improvements have ensured the Tornado remains a capable frontline aircraft. It is projected that the Tornado will stay in service until at least 2025, marking over 50 years since the first prototype took flight. Variable sweep wing. For the Tornado to excel as a low-level supersonic strike aircraft, it needed to perform well at both high and low speeds. Typically, swept or delta wings are used for high-speed performance, but these designs struggle at lower speeds. To solve this, the Tornado was equipped with a variable sweep wing, allowing it to adjust its wing position based on the speed and mission requirements. This approach had been used on earlier aircraft like the American Grumman F-14 Tomcat and General Dynamics F-111 Aardvark, as well as the Soviet MiG-23. However, the Tornado stood out as a true multi-role aircraft, benefiting from more advanced onboard systems and avionics compared to these earlier models. The Tornado's wing sweep, or the angle between the wings and fuselage, can be changed in flight by the pilot. The wings can adjust to any angle between 25 and 67 degrees, different speeds suited to each position. Some Tornado ADV variants even had an automatic wing sweep feature, reduce the pilot's workload. When the wings are swept back, the aircraft's drag is reduced, making it more efficient at high speeds during low-level missions. The weapons pylons are designed to pivot along with the wings, ensuring that they always point in the correct direction, regardless of wing position. A great deal of focus during development was placed on the Tornado's short-field takeoff and landing (STOL) capabilities. This was particularly encouraged by Germany, which valued this performance in their tactical operations. For shorter takeoffs and landings, the Tornado can sweep its wings forward to the 25-degree position while deploying its full-span flaps and leading-edge slats to enhance low-speed flight. Coupled with its thrust reverser-equipped engines, these features allow the Tornado to handle lower speeds with ease, making takeoffs and landings smoother and more efficient. Variable sweep wing. For the Tornado to excel as a low-level supersonic strike aircraft, it needed to perform well at both high and low speeds. Typically, swept or delta wings are used for high-speed performance, but these designs struggle at lower speeds. To solve this, the Tornado was equipped with a variable sweep wing, allowing it to adjust its wing position based on the speed and mission requirements. This approach had been used on earlier aircraft like the American Grumman F-14 Tomcat and General Dynamics F-111 Aardvark, as well as the Soviet MiG-23. However, the Tornado stood out as a true multi-role aircraft, benefiting from more advanced onboard systems and avionics compared to these earlier models. The Tornado's wing sweep, or the angle between the wings and fuselage, can be changed in flight by the pilot. The wings can adjust to any angle between 25 and 67 degrees, with different speeds suited to each position. Some Tornado ADV variants even had an automatic wing sweep feature to reduce the pilot's workload. When the wings are swept back, the aircraft's drag is reduced, making it more efficient at high speeds during low-level missions. The weapons pylons are designed to pivot along with the wings, ensuring that they always point in the correct direction, regardless of wing position. A great deal of focus during development was placed on the Tornado's short-field takeoff and landing (STL) capabilities. This was particularly encouraged by Germany, which valued this performance in their tactical operations. For shorter takeoffs and landings, the Tornado can sweep its wings forward to the 25-degree position while deploying its full-span flaps and leading-edge slats to enhance low-speed flight. Coupled with its thrust reverser-equipped engines, these features allow the Tornado to handle lower speeds with ease, making takeoffs and landings smoother and more efficient. Avionics. The Tornado's cockpit is designed with a tandem seating arrangement, accommodating both a pilot and a navigator weapons officer. The aircraft is controlled using both electromechanical and electro-optical systems. The cockpit features an array of dials and switches, positioned on either side of a centrally located CRT monitor, which manages navigation, communication, and weapons control systems. To modernize the display, BAE Systems introduced the Tornado Advanced Radar Display Information System, TARDIS, a 12.8-inch multifunction screen, replacing the older combined radar and projected map display in the rear cockpit. By 2004, the RAF began integrating TARDIS into its GR4 fleet. The Tornado's flight controls rely on a hybrid system, combining an analog quadruplex command and stability augmentation system, CEAS, with a digital autopilot and flight director system, AFDS. In case of system failure, mechanical backup controls are also available. Flight controls were designed with artificial feel, helping pilots manage the aircraft during maneuvers. The Tornado's variable wings significantly alter its flight characteristics, and the artificial responses automatically adjust based on changes to the wings or flight attitude. The aircraft's stability system compensates for the dynamic changes that come from carrying various munitions and stores, ensuring smooth flight performance. The Tornado is equipped with a combined navigation and attack Doppler radar, scans for targets, while providing automated terrain-following capability during low-level mission. This system allows for hands-off, all-weather low-level flight, one of the key advantages of the Tornado. The Tornado ADV, designed for air defense, features a different radar, the AI.24 Fox Hunter, which can track up to 20 targets at distances of up to 100 miles. The Tornado was also among the first aircraft to include a digital data bus for information transmission. In the F3 variant, Link 16 JTS integration allowed data sharing between the Tornado and other friendly aircraft. Different Tornado models have unique avionics based on their roles. Tornado ECR, used by Germany and Italy, focuses on suppression of enemy air defenses, SEAD. It is equipped with an emitter locator system, ELS, that detects radar activity. German ECRs also include a Honeywell infrared imaging system for reconnaissance. Tornadoes operated by the RAF and the Royal Saudi Air Force feature a laser rangefinder and marked target seeker, RMTS, targeting laser-guided bombs. In 1991, the RAF added TLD, which enabled Tornado GR1s to designate targets with lasers independently. Reconnaissance variants, including the GR1A and GR4A, were outfitted with the Tornado Infrared Reconnaissance System, TRS. TRS consists of cell-IR sensors mounted on either side of the fuselage and an IRLS sensor on the underside, recording both oblique and vertical images. This system used 6 SVHS videotapes to capture footage. Eventually, the built-in terror system was replaced by the newer Raptor reconnaissance pod, which offered more advanced capabilities. Armament and equipment. The Tornado is designed to carry a wide array of air-launched weapons, commonly found in NATO's arsenal. This includes everything from unguided bombs to laser-guided munitions, anti-ship and anti-radiation missiles, and specialized weapons like anti-personnel mines and runway cratering devices. To enhance its survivability in combat, the Tornado is equipped with various countermeasures, such as flare and chaff dispensers, and can carry electronic countermeasure pods under its wings to jam enemy radars. Additionally, the Tornado can be fitted with underwing fuel tanks to extend its range and has a buddy store aerial refueling system that allows one Tornado to refuel another midair. Since its introduction, all Tornado operators have regularly updated and modified their aircraft to adapt to new weapon systems. Some of the more recent armaments that have been integrated include the enhanced paveway bombs, joint direct attack munitions, JM, and modern cruise missiles like the Taurus and Storm Shadow. These upgrades have significantly improved the Tornado's precision and effectiveness in combat. As newer precision-guided weapons like cruise missiles became available, older munitions, such as cluster bombs, were gradually phased out. The Tornado strike variants also have limited air-to-air capability, typically armed with AIM-9 Sidewinder or AIM-132 ASRAAM missiles. The Tornado ADV variant, on the other hand, was outfitted with long-range air-to-air missiles like the Skyflash and AIM-120 AMRAAM to engage targets beyond visual range. The Tornado is also equipped with 2 Mauser BK-27 revolver cannons mounted underneath the fuselage, though the ADV variant carries only one. When RAF GR1s were upgraded GR4s, one of the cannons was replaced with a FLIR sensor. Reconnaissance variants like the GR1A removed both cannons to make room for sideways-looking infrared sensor. The Mauser BK-27 cannon, specifically developed for the Tornado, has since been adopted by other European fighters, such as the Dassault Dornier Alpha Jet, Saab JAS-39 Gripen, and Eurofighter Typhoon. In addition to conventional weaponry, the Tornado is also capable of carrying air-launched nuclear weapons. In 1979, the UK debated whether to replace its Polaris submarines with either the Trident submarine system or equip the Tornado to carry the country's nuclear deterrent. While the UK ultimately proceeded with the Trident system, several Tornado squadrons based in Germany were tasked with nuclear deterrence missions during the Cold War. These aircraft were equipped with WE.177 nuclear bombs, which remained in service until 1998. Additionally, both German and Italian Tornado squadrons are capable of delivering US B-61 nuclear bombs as part of NATO's nuclear sharing agreement. Engine. In the development of the MRCA, Britain was adamant that Rolls-Royce should be responsible for creating the advanced engine needed for the aircraft, even threatening to withdraw from the project if an American engine was selected. In September 1969, Rolls-Royce's RB199 engine was chosen to power the MRCA. One of the benefits of this decision was that the partner nations agreed on a technology transfer, ensuring that the engine would be developed and manufactured through a joint venture, Turbo Union. Although the program faced delays when Rolls-Royce entered receivership in 1971, the multinational collaboration ensured that the Tornado program was not significantly disrupted. Insights gained from the development of the Concorde's supersonic engines also contributed to the final design of the RB199 and its engine control system. The RB199 engine is designed to perform efficiently across a wide range of speeds, up to Mach 2. Like other advanced engines, it uses variable intake ramps to regulate airflow. The hydraulic system is powered by either one or both engines, and all hydraulics are housed within the airframe, rather than integrated into the engine, improving safety and ease of maintenance. In the event of a double engine or generator failure, the Tornado has a backup battery that can power the fuel pump and hydraulics for up to 13 minutes, allowing the crew time to manage the situation. One of the RB199's rarer features among fighter aircraft is its thrust reverser, which helps shorten the distance needed for a safe landing. When the thrust reverser is deployed, the yaw damper connects to the nose wheel steering system to maintain stability during landing. The first prototype Tornado powered by an RB199 engine flew in August 1974, with the engine completing its qualification tests by late 1978. Though the final production model met both performance and reliability expectations, development costs were higher than initially planned, partly due to the demanding requirements of the engine. Early production engines had issues with the turbine blades wearing out faster than expected, but this was addressed through design improvements. Over time, several upgraded versions of the engine were developed, particularly for the Tornado ADV and Germany's Tornado ECR variants. The engine's current control system, known as the Digital Engine Control Unit (DEU), replaced the older analog Main Engine Control Unit (MEU), also referred to as CUU. Upgrades, initially designed for low-level operations, the Tornado needed upgrades to perform better at medium altitudes, which the RAF began adopting in the 1990s. The GR1 fleet was extensively overhauled and rebranded as Tornado GR4s. These upgrades included forward-looking infrared, BLIR, a wide-angle head-up display, HUD, improved cockpit displays, night vision compatibility, and new avionics, along with the addition of a GPS receiver. These modifications made it easier to integrate advanced weapons systems like the Storm Shadow cruise missile, the Brimstone anti-tank missile, Paveway 3 laser-guided bombs, and the Raptor reconnaissance pod. The first flight of a Tornado GR4 took place on April 4, 1997. By October 31st of that year, the RAF had received its first delivery, final deliveries wrapping up in 2003. In 2005, the Royal Saudi Air Force, RSAF, followed suit, upgrading their Tornado IDS models to match the RAF's GR4 configuration. On December 21, 2007, BAE Systems signed a $210 million contract for the Capability Upgrade Strategy Pilot, QSP. This program planned to improve RAF Tornado GR4, GR4A models in two stages. Phase A focused on integrating the Paveway 4 bomb and enhancing communications, while Phase B introduced a new tactical data link. Germany's Tornado IDS and ECR models also underwent significant upgrades. Beginning in 2000, the ASTA-1 upgrade replaced the weapons computer, added GPS and laser inertial navigation systems, and allowed for the integration of missiles like the HARM-3 and Taurus KPD-350, along with the Rafael Lightning II laser designator pod and GBU-24 Paveway 3 bomb. The ASTA-2 upgrade, which began in 2005, introduced digital avionics and a new ECM suite. In total, 85 Tornadoes, 20 ECRs, and 65 IDS models were upgraded, although some were eventually replaced by Eurofighter Typhoons. In 2008, the ASS-3 upgrade started, adding support for laser-guided joint direct attack munitions, JDM, and further software refinements. However, in January 2016, it was reported that the latest ASTA 3.1 upgrade, which included color multifunctional LCD screens in place of the older monochrome CRT displays, interfered with pilots' night vision systems during missions in Syria, making night operations difficult. The German Defense Ministry acknowledged the issue, noting that brighter cockpit lights could distract pilots, but they assured a solution would be implemented soon. The upgraded display systems, known as AMLCD, are used for route planning, FLIR, and targeting pods like TIALD and CLDP. These displays replace the old green CRT monitors, offering a full-color display instead of the original monochrome format. Although the AMLCD displays significantly reduced lifecycle costs, the newer, more complex electronics tended to fail faster than the simpler CRT system. Despite the modern advancements, the original and updated systems both showcased impressive engineering. With various connectors and diagnostic tools, the display units, though simplistic, served as reliable systems. Powering these units required a separate 3-phase 115 VAC 400 Hz input along with a 28-volt DC signal. In December 2013, BAE Systems took another step forward by test flying a Tornado equipped with 3D printed parts. These included components like a protective radio cover, landing gear guard, and air intake door support. This experiment showed that replacement parts could be made quickly and affordably on site. BAE Systems estimated that by using 3D printed parts, they had saved over £300,000, with potential savings reaching £1.2 million by 2017. Operational history. The first Tornado prototype took off on August 14, 1974, from Ingolstadt-Manching Airport in West Germany. Production deliveries began on July 27, 1979, with the German Air Force eventually receiving 247 Tornadoes, including 35 ECR variant. Initially, these Tornadoes replaced the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter across 5 fighter-bomber wings, including a tactical conversion unit and 4 frontline wings. After the disbandment of one of the German Navy's Tornado wings in 1994, its aircraft were reassigned to the Luftwaffe's reconnaissance wing, previously operating RF-4E Phantoms. During NATO's Bosnian War campaign, 14 German Tornadoes took part in combat operations, primarily conducting reconnaissance missions from Piacenza, Italy. Their role was to survey damage from previous strikes and scout new targets, reportedly improving the accuracy of target selection throughout the campaign. In 1999, German Tornadoes participated in Operation Allied Force, the NATO-led airstrikes during the Kosovo War, marking Germany's first offensive air mission since World War II. The ECR variants played a critical role, carrying AGM-88 HARM missiles to suppress enemy radar systems, while the IDS variants conducted reconnaissance missions, identifying both enemy troops and civilian refugees within Yugoslavia. Over the course of the operation, German Tornadoes logged 2,108 flight hours, flying 446 sorties and launching 236 HARM missiles. In June 2007, 2 Luftwaffe Tornadoes flew reconnaissance missions over a protest at the G8 summit in Heiligen. This led to controversy when it was revealed that one Tornado had violated the minimum flying altitude. The German Defense Ministry later admitted to mishandling the mission's security. In Afghanistan, 6 Tornadoes from Aufklärungsgeschwader 51, Immelmann, were deployed to Mazar-i-Sharif in 2007 to assist NATO forces. Their deployment was controversial, with one political party attempting to block the mission through legal action, claiming it was unconstitutional. Despite the dispute, improvements were made to the Tornado's reconnaissance capabilities, enhancing their ability to detect hidden improvised explosive devices, IEDs. The Tornadoes remained in Afghanistan until their withdrawal in November 2010. In 2003, defense cuts led to the retirement of 90 Tornadoes from Luftwaffe service, reducing the force to 4 operational wings by 2005. Further reduction in the fighter fleet was announced in 2004, aiming to shrink the Tornado force to 85 aircraft by 2015, with the type expected to remain in service until at least 2025. These remaining aircraft underwent life extension programs to maintain their operational capabilities. As of now, the Luftwaffe continues to operate Tornadoes out of Buchel Air Base and Jägel Air Base. Tornado aircrew training initially took place at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico from 1996. In 1999, training unit was renamed the Luftwaffe Training Center, FG AUS-BZL. By 2015, Germany decided to move training back home, and by 2017, flight training for the Tornado at Holloman was officially discontinued. All operations transferred to Jägel Air Base. In 2020, reports emerged that Germany planned to replace its Tornadoes with 30 Boeing FA-18EF Super Hornets, 15 EA-18G Growlers, and 55 Eurofighter Typhoons. The Super Hornets were chosen due to their nuclear weapons compatibility and electronic attack capabilities. However, in 2021, Airbus proposed replacing the Tornado fleet with 85 new Eurofighter Tranche 5 aircraft by 2030. By 2022, the German Defense Ministry confirmed that 35 Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning IIs would replace the Tornado fleet for nuclear sharing purposes, instead of the originally discussed Super Hornet. German Navy, Marineflieger. In addition to the Luftwaffe's order, the German Navy's Marineflieger received 112 Tornado IDS aircraft, primarily for anti-shipping and reconnaissance missions, replacing their older starfighters. These Tornadoes were organized into two wings, each with around 48 aircraft. The primary weapon used in the anti-shipping role was the AS-34 Cormoran missile, which was later supplemented by unguided bombs, BL-755 cluster munitions, and AGM-88 HARM missiles designed for anti-radar missions. For reconnaissance, the aircraft were equipped with panoramic optical cameras and infrared line scan pods, which enhanced their ability to gather detailed intelligence over maritime areas. After the Cold War ended and Germany signed the Conventional Forces in Europe (CFE) treaty, the nation began reducing the size of its military, including its combat aircraft fleet. As a result, one of the Marineflieger's Tornado wings was disbanded on January 1, 1994. The Tornadoes from that wing were transferred to a Luftwaffe reconnaissance wing, where they replaced the aging Phantoms. The remaining Marineflieger wing continued operating in the anti-shipping, reconnaissance, and anti-radar roles until 2005. At that point, it too was disbanded, and its aircraft and mission responsibilities were handed over to the Luftwaffe. Italian Air Force, Aeronautica Militare. The first Italian Tornado prototype took to the skies on December 5, 1975, from Turin. Italy's Air Force, known as the Aeronautica Militare, received 100 Tornado IDS aircraft, referred to as the A200 in Italy. Of these, 16 were later modified into the ECR variant, Electronic Combat and Reconnaissance, and the first of these EA200s was delivered on February 27, 1998. Additionally, to fill a temporary gap after retiring the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter, Italy leased 24 Tornado ADVs from the RAF for air defense duties until the Eurofighter Typhoon became operational. In 1991, Italian Tornadoes, alongside their British counterparts, took part in Operation Desert Storm during the Gulf War. Italy deployed 8 Tornado IDS interdictors from Gioia del Colle to Abu Dhabi, contributing to the international coalition. During the conflict, one Italian Tornado was shot down by Iraqi anti-aircraft fire, with the crew ejecting safely before being captured. Later, in 1999, 22 Italian Tornadoes participated in Operation Allied Force over Kosovo. A-200 aircraft took on bombing roles, while the EA-200 variants focused on suppressing enemy air defenses, launching 115 AGM-88 HARM missiles during the mission. As the Eurofighter Typhoon program faced delays, Italy searched for another temporary fighter solution. Although extending the Tornado lease was considered, the costs of upgrading them to RAF standards were deemed too high. Consequently, in February 2001, Italy signed a deal with the United States to lease 35 F-16s under the Peace Caesar program, eventually returning the Tornado ADVs to the RAF in 2004, with one aircraft preserved for display at the Italian Air Force Museum. In July 2002, Italy signed an upgrade contract for 18 A200s, with improvements arriving in 2003. These upgrades introduced better navigation systems, GPS integration, and the ability to carry advanced weapons like Storm Shadow missiles, Joint Direct Attack munitions, JDAM, and Paveway 3 bombs. Italian Tornadoes were also involved in NATO operations over Libya during Operation Unified Protector in 2011, contributing 20 to 30 Storm Shadow cruise missiles to the effort. With plans to retire the Tornado fleet by 2025, Italy initiated a life extension program that included upgrading digital displays, improving communications with Link 16 capabilities, and enhancing night vision capability. The F-35 Lightning II is expected to replace the Tornado fleet in the coming years. By 2013, Italy had received its first upgraded EA-200 Tornado, continuing to modernize its fleet in preparation for its eventual replacement. Unfortunately, not all operations went smoothly. In 2014, two tornadoes collided during a training mission, marking a somber moment for the Aeronautica Militare. However, by the end of 2014, Italy had deployed 4 tornadoes to Kuwait, tasked with conducting reconnaissance missions as part of the coalition against the Islamic State. In 2018, the Italian EA-200 successfully completed testing of the AGM-88E missile, enhancing its capabilities for future missions. Royal Air Force. Nicknamed the Tonka by the British, the Tornado's journey with the Royal Air Force began on October 30, 1974, when the first prototype, XX-946, made its maiden flight from BAC Wharton. The first production model, D-Day-3119, took off on July 10, 1979. By July 1, 1980, the first RAF Tornadoes had arrived at RAF Cottesmore for training, and from there, pilots would move on to the Tornado Weapons Conversion Unit at RAF Honington. First frontline squadron to receive the Tornado was number Nth B Squadron, reforming on June 1, 1982, and declared combat-ready by early 1983. RAF Tornado squadrons based in Germany during the Cold War had a unique mission. They were assigned to NATO's Quick Reaction Alert Nuclear, prepared to deliver the 77 nuclear bomb against targets in Eastern Europe. Squadrons like number 20 Squadron had specific tasks, such as targeting bridges over the Elbe and Weser rivers to halt Warsaw Pact forces. These squadrons became fully operational in 1985, ready for potential Cold War conflict. The Tornado made its combat debut during Operation Granby in the Gulf War of 1991. The RAF deployed 49 Tornado GR-1s and 18 Tornado F-3s, the F-3s acting as air cover. The GR-1s carried out low-level bombing missions using JP-233 runway denial weapons and unguided bombs. Early in the war, several Tornadoes were lost to Iraqi defenses, highlighting the risks of low-altitude strikes. However, the introduction of laser-guided bombs, aided by Blackburn Buccaneers equipped with pave spike laser designators, improved the accuracy of RAF bombing run. The tiled pod, rapidly integrated into Tornado operations, became a game-changer for precision strikes. After the Gulf War, the RAF maintained a presence in the Middle East. Tornadoes flew missions as part of Operation Southern Watch and Operation Provide Comfort, enforcing no-fly zones over Iraq. The GR-4 variant made its operational debut during Operation Desert Fox in 1998, launching strikes on Iraq's military infrastructure. This period saw RAF Tornadoes achieve a high success rate, with precision-guided munitions becoming a larger part of their arsenal. Tornadoes played a key role in Operation Allied Force over Kosovo in 1999. Operating from Corsica, Tornadoes used AGM-65 Maverick missiles and enhanced paveway bombs to strike enemy targets. After Kosovo, the GR-1s were phased out, all remaining aircraft upgraded to the GR-4 standard by 2003. During the 2003 invasion of Iraq, RAF Tornadoes once again flew alongside coalition forces. This time, the Tornado force made extensive use of the Storm Shadow cruise missile, demonstrating a significant shift toward precision-guided warfare. A tragic friendly fire incident on March 23, 2003, saw a Tornado shot down by a U.S. Patriot missile. Despite the loss, RAF Tornadoes continued to play a crucial role in the conflict, with a high mission success rate. By 2009, the RAF Tornado force had shifted focus to Afghanistan, placing the Harrier GR-79 fleet. Tornadoes supported NATO forces by flying over 33,500 hours and participating in 70 direct engagements. The Paveway 4 guided bomb was introduced during this period, providing greater flexibility in targeting. Though the Strategic Defense and Security Review of 2010 considered retiring the Tornado, it was ultimately kept in service. Tornadoes took part in Operation Elami over Libya in 2011, flying long-range missions to strike military targets. They were instrumental in air operations against Islamic State forces from 2014 onwards, conducting airstrikes over Iraq and Syria as part of Operation Shader. In 2019, after 40 years of service, the RAF began retiring its Tornado GR-4s. Flypasts were organized over key locations, and the final operational flight took place in March 2019. Although the Tornado was officially retired from RAF service on April 1, 2019, continues to have a legacy, with parts of its technology, such as pylons for the Storm Shadow missile, now being used by the Ukrainian Su-24s in their conflict. Royal Saudi Air Force. In 1984, pilots from the Royal Saudi Air Force, RSAF, traveled to RAF Honington to evaluate the Tornado GR1. Getting hands-on experience with the aircraft would soon become a key part of their fleet. A year later, on September 25, 1985, the UK and Saudi Arabia signed the Al Yamama 1 contract, sealing the deal for the sale of 48 Tornado IDS, interdictor strike, and 24 Tornado ADV, air defense variant, aircraft. Saudi crews began training at the Tri-National Tornado Training Establishment, TTTE, in October 1985, with the first Saudi Tornado IDS, serial number 701, making its maiden flight on February 17, 1986. Deliveries to King Abdul Aziz Air Base in Dhahran began on March 26, 1986. By the end of that year, No. 7 Squadron had formed and received 20 Tornado IDS aircraft. The RSAF's first ADV, serial number 2905, flew in December 1988, and by March 1989, these advanced aircraft were arriving in Saudi Arabia. 2 RSAF squadrons, Nazimur 29 and 34, were fully operational with 12 ADV jets each by 1990. When the Gulf War loomed, Saudi Arabia's Tornado squadrons pooled their resources, deploying as part of Operation Desert Shield. During the Gulf War, No. 7 Squadron conducted their first mission on the night of January 17, 1991, with the RSAF contributing 665 Tornado IDS sorties and 451 ADV missions. However, the conflict also brought losses, including the downing of an IDS on the night of January 19, 1991. By June 1993, Saudi Arabia had signed the Al Yamama 2 contract, adding 48 more IDS aircraft to their fleet. The RSAF had a clear advantage in low-altitude missions thanks to the Tornado's superior performance in that environment, which led the RSAF to discontinue low-level mission training on the McDonnell Douglas F-15E Strike Eagle. 10 RSAF Tornadoes were later modified for reconnaissance missions, while the 22 Tornado ADVs were gradually replaced by the Eurofighter Typhoon. The retired ADVs were sold back to the UK. By 2007, RSAF Tornadoes no longer carried the Sea Eagle anti-ship missile and Alarm anti-radiation missile, but new contracts were signed for advanced systems like the Iris-T air-to-air missile, Brimstone, and Storm Shadow cruise missiles. In 2006, Saudi Arabia inked a £2.5 billion contract with BAE Systems, upgrade 80 RSAF Tornado IDS jets under the Tornado Sustainment Program (TSP). The upgrades would align Saudi Tornadoes with the RAF's GR4, equipping them with precision-guided weapons and enhanced targeting systems. First modernized Tornado was returned to Saudi Arabia in December 2007. The RSAF's Tornadoes saw action again in November 2009 during air raids in Yemen, marking their first combat mission since Operation Desert Storm. RSAF Tornadoes continued to be key players in the Saudi-led air campaign over Yemen, including missions during the Shia insurgency and later as part of the larger conflict in Yemen. On January 7, 2018, Houthi forces claimed they had downed an RSAF warplane conducting raids over northern Yemen. Saudi officials confirmed that a Tornado was lost due to technical issues, but both crew members were safely rescued. Another Tornado crash occurred on July 12, 2018, following a technical failure after a mission in Yemen's Sada province. Tragedy struck again on February 14, 2020, when another RSAF Tornado was shot down during a close air support mission over Al Juf Governorate. Houthis released a video showing the aircraft being hit by a surface-to-air missile, with both pilots ejecting and being captured. Tornado variants: Tornado IDS, Tornado GR1. The Tornado GR1 was the RAF's interdictor strike IDS variant, initially introduced in the early 1980s, with the first of 228 aircraft delivered on 5 June 1979. This versatile model laid the foundation for future improvements, including upgrades to the Tornado GR1A, GR1B, GR4, and GR4A variants. Tornado GR1B, a specialized anti-shipping version of the GR-1. The Tornado GR-1B replaced the Blackburn Buccaneer and became a critical asset for maritime operations. RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland was home to the 26 converted aircraft, each capable of carrying up to 4 Sea Eagle anti-ship missiles. Initially, these aircraft lacked radar systems capable of tracking ships, relying solely on the missile's seeker for target acquisition. Later upgrades allowed real-time target data to be transferred from the aircraft to the missile, enhancing its effectiveness. Tornado GR-1P. The Tornado GR-1P was a one-of-a-kind variant, created after a standard GR-1 ZA326, was partially rebuilt following an engine test fire. This aircraft was rebuilt using parts from various production batches and served in specialized roles with the Royal Aircraft Establishment and Empire Test Pilot School until its retirement in 2005. It was the last GR-1 to remain in service worldwide. Tornado GR-4. In 1984, the UK Ministry of Defence began exploring a midlife update, MLU, for the Tornado GR-1. Following the 1991 Gulf War, lessons learned from the GR-1's performance led to approval for upgrades to the GR-4 standard in 1994. A total of 142 Tornado GR-1s were modified by British Aerospace, later BAE Systems, to the GR-4 configuration between 1996 and 2003. Key improvements included enhanced capabilities for medium-altitude operations, a response to operational demands. Additionally, 59 RF GR-4s were later equipped with cusp avionics, allowing integration of the Paveway 4 bomb and new secure communication systems from Cassidian, followed by the addition of Tactical Information Exchange (TIE) data link. Tornado GR-1A, GR-4A. The Tornado GR-1A served as the reconnaissance version of the IDS, used by both the RF and the Royal Saudi Air Force, RSAF. These aircraft were equipped with the Tornado Infrared Reconnaissance System, TRS, which replaced the Cannon system. The RF ordered 30 GR-1As, consisting of 14 conversions and 16 new builds. As GR-1s were updated to GR-4s, these reconnaissance versions became GR-4As. However, the shift from low-level to medium-high-level operations reduced the use of the internal TRS, leading to a mix of GR-4 and GR-4A aircraft in the RAF's Tactical Reconnaissance Wing. Tornado ECR. Tornado ECR, Electronic Combat Reconnaissance, is a variant operated by Germany and Italy, tailored for suppression of enemy air defenses (E-8) missions. First delivered on the 21st of May 1990, the ECR's key feature was its ability to detect enemy radar and employ AGM-88 arm missile. Germany's Luftwaffe received 35 ECRs, while Italy converted 16 IDS aircraft for the ECR role. Italian ECRs differ slightly, lacking built-in reconnaissance systems and relying on Rexolite pods for reconnaissance. Unlike the RAF, which used IDS aircraft for C-8 missions, the Luftwaffe equipped their ECRs with more powerful RB199 Memcop 105 engines for improved thrust. Tornado ADV. The Tornado ADV, air defense variant, was the interceptor version, designed primarily for the RAF but also operated by Saudi Arabia and Italy. Known as the Tornado F2 or F3, this variant was developed not for dogfighting but for long-range interception, primarily targeting Cold War bombers. Despite sharing 80% of its parts with the Tornado IDS, the ADV featured a stretched airframe, improved RB19904 engines, and greater fuel capacity. Additionally, it was equipped with the advanced AI.24 Fox Hunter radar and came with software enhancements specific to air defense roles. The ADV was designed with only one internal cannon to accommodate a retractable in-flight refueling probe, increasing its range and endurance during missions. Current operators: Germany. Luftwaffe. A total of 210 IDS Interstrike and 35 ECR Electronic Combat Reconnaissance Tornadoes were delivered to the Luftwaffe. As of December 2018, the Luftwaffe retained 94 IDS and 28 ECR variants in service. Marineflieger. The German Navy originally received 112 IDS Tornadoes. These aircraft were retired by June 2005, with some reallocated to the Luftwaffe. Italy. Aeronautica Militare. The Italian Air Force took delivery of 100 IDS A200 Tornadoes, with 18 converted to ECR EA200 configuration for electronic warfare missions. Italy also leased 24 ADV F3 Tornadoes from the RF between 1995 and 2004. By December 2018, 70 A200s and 5 EA200s were still active in the fleet. Saudi Arabia, Royal Saudi Air Force. The RSAF initially received 96 IDS and 24 ADV Tornadoes. While the ADV models were retired in 2006, 81 IDS aircraft remained operational by December 2018. Former operators. United Kingdom, Royal Air Force. The RAF was a major operator of the Tornado, with 385 units delivered across various roles, including 230 GR-1s, 18 F-2s, and 147 F-3s. Of the GR-1s, 142 were upgraded to GR-4 standard later in their service life. The RAF's Tornado GR-4 was officially retired on the 1st April 2019, marking the end of the Tornado's operational service in the UK. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the Tornado and its incredible history, make sure to like this video and share it with others who love aviation and military history. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content about legendary aircraft, iconic battles, and military technology. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.